grace of God. Finally, when they both were much too old for babies, I was born. Then my parents were sure I had been born for a very special test. Mary, pure and lowly, Virgin Mother undefiled, Saint of Heaven's own Son most holy, who became her little child. There is child of Mary's mother, God the Lord who came to earth. Word made flesh, our very brother, takes our nature by his birth. Glory be to God the Father, glory be to God the Son, glory be to God the Spirit, glory to the three in one. From the heart of Blessed Mary, from all saints a song ascends, and the church the strengthly echoes unto earth's remotest ends. I was young and just beginning to think about life as a woman. I had been engaged to Joseph, but I was still living in my parents' home. I prayed and studied the holy books every day, as I always had, because my mother had dedicated me to God before I was born. One day, as I worked or prayed or studied, something very strange happened. A bright angel just appeared, as angels do, and I was very frightened at first, that is. You see, the angel told me,
You are going to have a baby, a gift from God to God's people.
I could not understand how that could be, but the angel said,
All things are possible with God's help.
while I was frightened by the angel and the news of God's call to me, in the end I said yes to God. And then I sang a very old song, one first sung by Hannah, Samuel's mother, as she dedicated him in the temple. I praise thee, Lord, this joyful day. I praise thee, I bless thee, I magnify thy name. Laudamus, laudamus, thy majesty proclaim.
So much happened between the visit of the angel and the birth of this baby. Joseph almost refused to marry me, since I was pregnant, and if he had, then my neighbors might have stoned me to death. Then I went to see my cousin Elizabeth, and she was pregnant, although she had never been able to have a baby before. Both she and her baby knew at once that this baby of mine was God's special child, the Messiah. They told me what I already knew. And then there was the long trip to Bethlehem to register for the taxes and a dark stable where the baby was born. The animals seemed to know this baby was God, and a host of angels brought shepherds to the stable to see my child, and they knew too. They were all quiet, awestruck that God had come among us, and the Messiah was born at last. I listened and looked, and remembered it all, treasuring it in my heart for the days ahead.
Shall we call the Son of God? Joseph and I did all that was called for in the law. The baby was circumcised and given the name Jesus, which means he saves. And a few weeks later, we took him to Jerusalem to be presented to God in the temple. As it is written, every firstborn male shall be designated as holy to the Lord. When we got to the temple, there was a very, very old man there. I've been waiting year after year to see the Messiah. He came right up to us and took the baby from me, and thanked God for having, at last, been blessed to see the Savior of our people. Joseph and I were shocked he knew all this. But then the strange old man looked right at me, or right through me, and said, "This child is destined for the falling and the rising of many in Israel, and to be a son that will be opposed, so that the end of 1,000 men will be revealed, and the sword will pierce your own soul."
It's more than words can express, more than all the books written can include, more than hearts can hold. But he grew up, as I have done, knowing God had a special vision for him, and he was faithful to it. He knew God as no one else ever did. He He spoke to God his Father. He healed and taught and lived as only God could do. Of course, this brought him enemies, powerful enemies, enemies who feared him and plotted to discredit and kill him. A mother can watch and worry, but could not make him careful. He had to be who he was. Finally, there in Jerusalem, the same space that we took him to dedicate him to God, he was arrested, tried, and crucified as a threat to Rome and a blasphemer against God. That old man in the temple years ago knew exactly how it would feel to me, like a sword piercing my heart and my soul, as I watched my beloved Son, in God's gift to all of us, die. I truly wish I could die too and end the games. endless days later, after the Sabbath, they returned to the tomb to anoint and care for his beaten, lifeless body. They found that despite the guards, the massive stone locking him in forever had simply rolled aside.
He is not there. He is risen from the dead.
An angel met them, consoled them not to be afraid. How I remember those words from my youth. And they saw him with their eyes, and the angel told them just after that.
He is not there. He is risen from the dead.
Hallelujah.
Kings. Simeon. Our Marys. Our teen and adult choir and music director, Karen. And a special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Rosado for bringing us all together.